All right, let's jump into this. 2008. This is
It's a year.
It's a year.
It is.
It had one defining film that we're going to mention, but not really cover because we talk about it all the time. But it was really our 2008. But let's talk about some of the more lesser known ones, lesser talked about ones, things like that. And then we'll get into some picks that were submitted to us. Corey, you want to jump into yours? Small scale horror movie, which actually had a sequel recently.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I watched this for the first time like 2 weeks ago. For no reason, just saw it and I was like, oh, I've always wanted to see this. But The Strangers, with Liv Tyler. Like Murph said, it's definitely a low budget, small scale horror movie, home invasion type of thing. Liv Tyler and her husband or boyfriend, I think, they're at a cabin in the woods, and this
Not to be
really-
confused with the movie Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's not like doesn't have like a comedy element at all.
No, this one's dark.
Yeah,
Is
it's
this
real
the one with the
dark.
people with the bags on their head?
They
Yes.
have like different.
Although
masks.
it does have Dennis Reynolds in it.
Yeah,
Oh, lovely.
yeah. Yeah, like it reminds me a little bit like the family in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like it's like a masked family, like, probably inbreds, I don't know. But they don't really go into
Speculating.
they don't really go into
That is pure speculation.
Yeah, it is.
Because they give you no idea
No.
any backstory about
No.
these people.
None at all. But it's brutal. All takes place in this house. I enjoyed it
It's
for
like-
the most part.
It's like the first Purge, kind of.
Similar.
The first Purge is kind of like this because it came out before.
There definitely are similarities. The one thing I really liked about this movie,
It's a home invasion movie.
yeah. The one thing I really liked about this movie is the way they use sound to make the segments more tense. There's several scenes where characters, are being hunted, I guess, and they're just like building the tension, obviously with everything that's going on screen, but also using very unique audio elements, in the environment in like repeat, like a record player skipping like the same
God.
part of a song over and over again for like the length of this segment, and that was
Fuck that.
It was
That sounds
interesting.
scary.
it was very
That sounds
interesting.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It was very surprising that I never saw it before. I don't know why, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not very long. I think it's like 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's a quick one. I mean, there's not much plot to it.
Yeah.
The people's motive behind it is they're going to kill these people solely because they're home.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're just crazy people.
Yeah.
who
Liv
are
Tyler,
looking to-
Liv Tyler I really liked a lot. I did not like
Scott Speedman.
Yeah, the boyfriend. He wasn't very good, and it wasn't the script. His just delivery was garbage, and they had no chemistry together. So that was like
Hard to have chemistry with Liv Tyler. She's like a fucking wooden.
Well,
she's
like
a
the
good
most wooden
actress.
actress.
I think
would it-
she's a good
Yeah, I was
actress.
surprised to hear that.
She's a
would it
good
have worked
actress in
better if they
certain-
got Ben Affleck?
I'm solely on the Liv Tyler is not a good actress.
Okay. It's fair.
I'm with Murph on that. She's not good.
But
I have no opinion of Liv Tyler.
yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, Dennis Reynolds was in it from Always Sunny. His name escapes me. But he was good for the few scenes that he was in it, or 2 scenes that he was in it. Real brutal. So if you don't like brutal horror movies, skip it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's
JP will stick with the Sandler movies.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
I'm gonna
brutal
have
one.
to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take The Strangers away from the top of my list. I was probably just about to pop that one on and watch before going to bed. Yeah, it's not like I'm already afraid to be home alone.
All right, Doug.
Yeah, so for my pick, I tried so hard to pick any other movie from 2008 just because it was so obvious to pick this movie. But I just couldn't help myself. So I went ahead and picked Iron Man, the movie that kicked off the MCU, and the movie that resurrected Robert Downey Jr.'s career.
But you picked this because you didn't want to pick Dark Knight, because we basically put that off limits because we talk about it all the time.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that would be a. Yeah, I guess I would pick Dark Knight over Iron Man, but Iron Man's just such a fun movie.
Yeah,
Like I love that movie. That's my favorite Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark performances in that movie. He's just so good at being over the top, rich weapons company owner. He just kills that role. It's so much fun. I think the Iron Man suit looks better in this movie than it does in the later movies. I think they tried to make it too nanobot futuristic looking in the later movies. It kind of loses the weight that it has in this movie. I just like this movie. I go back and watch it probably once a year. I think the worst thing it has is not a great villain. And
Yeah.
with Warmonger, the Warmonger like Iron Man Warmonger fight could be better.
At least it's
But,
consistent.
you
though,
don't Find Obadiah Stane to be a great villain?
Tony!
Good old Obadiah.
Tony,
I mean,
stop!
it's consistent though, because Marvel has terrible villains. So
It's
I mean, at
my
least you know
he's-
what you're getting into.
It's my
He's
friend
by far not the
Tony.
worst Marvel villain, but that showdown just, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything for me. But up until that point, I really like that movie, and it's still to me one of my favorites out of all the Marvel movies that they've done.
Dude, it's got Ralphie from A Christmas Story in it, so it's got to be a Christmas movie then.
Oh yeah, clearly a Christmas movie. I'll add it to the Christmas list next year.
This Iron Man's an example of recasting done wrong. Like when they got rid of Terrence Howard and put in Don Cheadle. I thought Terrence Howard was better as Rhodey than Don Cheadle.
I
like Don
100%
Cheadle.
agree with that. I like Terrence Howard better too. Was it Iron Man 2 is when Don Cheadle shows up.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I was disappointed.
Which is weird because I like Don Cheadle a lot more as an actor. But I just don't think he does. I just never connected with his character, and he's been in it a lot at this point.
Yeah, well, I thought Terrence Howard, because he's like a military guy, and I thought Terrence Howard like played the military guy a lot better. Like I believe that he was actually like high up in the military, and they tease you, having Terrence Howard wear the suit at the end of the first movie, and then it's like, psych, it's Don Cheadle now.
Like I get why they had to do it. Like it was the first one. They had to show that they were the bosses. Like you can't try to get money. Like if they're telling you this is what you're going to get paid, this is what you're going to get paid. With the exception of Robert Downey Jr. But the recasting just didn't work in that case. It's one of the few. It's one of the only times I don't think the MCU failed in like a casting department. JP, what'd you say?
I like Cheadle. I think he brings. I'd rather watch Don Cheadle playing a mediocre character on the screen than watch Terrence Howard play fucking anyone. I guess I'm not a really big Terrence Howard fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love Don Cheadle. So I think it's more like star power gets me than how attached I was to the character, I guess. Do they show him in the suit at the end of that movie? I thought it was he looks at it and goes,
no, he looks at it.
Yeah,
and he says
that's what happens.
Yeah, so you're like, I remember seeing that and being like, hell yeah, we're going to get War Machine in the next movie.
And then the writers were like, hell no, you're not really going to get War Machine, like, ever. Because, like, what do they show War Machine like 5 times in the movies? And it's just so uneventful. I don't really remember Iron Man 2, but I remember kind of being just like a piece of shit.
Yeah, like he's fighting Whiplash with Tony at the end of the second one. And he gets paralyzed in Civil War.
But we are going to get a War Machine show, right? That's what they were saying on
Armor Wars.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I mean the concept sounds cool. So
I like War Machine.
That'll be out in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but summer 2008, man, between Iron Man and The Dark Knight, that was fucking incredible.
Yeah, it was big.
Start of the MCU and the best chapter, well, the most influential comic book movie ever. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that these two came out in the same year. It's just I had forgotten. I guess because Iron Man wasn't as big of a deal to me.
When did Iron Man come out?
May.
And May. Wow.
It was the first weekend in May. It was a summer kickoff movie.
So it got a month until
it had
Dark Knight came out.
July. Dark Knight was mid-July.
Was it mid-July? I thought it was.
Batman Begins was mid-June.
Oh shit! I was confusing with Batman Begins.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they had Marvel also had Incredible Hulk in June. So they like did their attempt at a 1-2 punch with kicking off the MCU. Again, that was another one where they had to recast an actor after that one movie, but which they really have not done any recasting since then, which is good. All right, JP, you have another one from summer 2008.
Yeah, I have a comedy. That's mostly what I pick. I feel like comedies are shit movies. I have Tropic Thunder, which I thought was a pretty good surprise for the summer. I mean, Ben Stiller movies, I feel like are hit or miss with me because he kind of just does the same shtick over and over and over again. And I think he did something a little different with this one, but the cast they assembled for this movie is just Robert Downey Jr. had a summer because he had Iron Man and he had this one. He was absolutely hilarious in Tropic Thunder. He stole the show by a mile.
Nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah. And then just the complete out of left field casting of fucking Tom Cruise as Les Grossman, just going full crazy person in a fat suit with hair glued onto his arms and a balding head was something I'll probably remember for my entire life.
That was the start of his career rehabilitation.
It was, yeah. It was a summer of rehabilitation, not only for Robert Downey Jr. but for
that's
Tom
true.
Cruise.
Yeah.
And then even just the little things, I think outside of like Jay Baruchel, I think everything was just such a good cast. I didn't really like Jay Baruchel. McCons was amazing in it.
He was his agent, right?
That was supposed to be Owen Wilson. And
supposed to be Owen Wilson.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey was
he was going through a lot of stuff at that period.
McCon's such a better person in that role. And then there's the random scene where he throws in the TiVo and then runs faster than any human being can run out of the jungle. I love that movie. Steve Coogan was funny.
Yeah, Steve Coogan's in it.
So good. Yeah. Jack Black was really funny.
He was great in it.
Man.
Yeah, I really like that movie.
Remember all the trailers in the beginning of the movie? What a funny way to start a movie.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what was going on, and you think it's just more trailers, but you got Tobey Maguire. Yeah,
what was the name of that action movie? Like that series that he started?
Scorcher.
Yeah. Scorcher.
Yeah. And then what was it? Devil's Alley was the one with the priests that were in love.
Tobey Maguire.
What was Jack Black's series? The Fatties.
The Fatties. Yeah,
I think
the Fatties.
The Fats or the Fatties. Yeah. That was fucking hilarious.
Just fucking ripping on nutty professors.
Booty Sweat.
Yeah, Booty. Oh yeah, Al Pacino.
Man.
Oh man. Yeah, I love Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that was an interesting summer because there was like a 4-week period where they dropped Step Brothers, Pineapple Express, and Tropic Thunder. It was like, my God, just all heavy hitters. Only a few months after Forgetting Sarah Marshall too.
Step Brothers was a close second. It was between the two. Step Brothers is just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely want to shout out all those movies because that Apatow adjacent Rat Pack run was fantastic.
Yeah. It was a good summer for comedies, apparently. I kind of forgot about that. That's a big 3 weeks in a row. I bet we were about that.
Yeah, and it was right after Dark Knight too. So it was just we were just living in a movie theater basically. Really that entire summer.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot that summer for sure.
Yeah, I mean you had Indiana Jones, Wanted, Wall-E, Hancock, Hellboy, a lot of stuff. All right, and then my pick, I went with the drama. Another one that was career rehabilitating role.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. So I don't know how many of you guys have seen this one. It's a Darren Aronofsky film, so obviously it's
I
fucking
bet it's really
depressed.
It's
So yeah, it's miserable.
brutal. It is.
Um,
Really good movie though.
It's dealing with Mickey Rourke's character, Randy the Ram Robinson, who's like an aging wrestler who's now on these like fucking small like circuits where he's basically wrestling at like Boys and Girls Club type buildings, signing autographs, and just his life is miserable. Like he's got his daughter who he has no relationship with anymore. He's trying to start one with, played by Evan Rachel Wood. He's dating a stripper played by Marissa Tomei. We actually filmed it in New Jersey, very close to us. A lot of the movie. Yeah, tremendous performance by Mickey Rourke. He never really did anything that lived up to that one since The Wrestler. But he did have that like kind of renaissance where he was in movies again. Expendables, Iron Man 2, which pretty cool that you had Robert Downey Jr. and Mickey Rourke, who both got their career back in 2008, being in a movie together.
This was nominated too, wasn't it, Wrestler?
2010. Yeah, it was nominated for Best Picture. Mickey Rourke was nominated for Best Actor. Had a lot going for it. But if you're remotely interested in wrestling, you're going to love it. If you don't give a shit about wrestling, you'll probably still enjoy it. If you like dramas about kind of like over the hill people who are trying to make the most of their life after they've already peaked. Corey, I think you and Rob saw this together, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Doug or JP, have either of you seen it?
No,
I've seen it.
Seems like a movie.
Yeah, it's not a happy movie.
Yeah, no.
I enjoyed it. I don't give a shit about wrestling, and I enjoyed the movie. So I guess I fall into bucket number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was enough there. Like you said, it's more dealing with the fact of somebody past their prime and kind of coming to grips with the fact that they aren't in their prime anymore, and their lives are sad and miserable, and you get to follow that. And so super uplifting. I remember one of my biggest takeaways from that movie was like, oh wow, Marissa Tomei still looks young.
She looks fantastic.
Yeah, so you're in Spider-Man 10 years later from that, and she still like looks the same.
Incredible.
Kind of crazy.
I'm pretty sure Mickey Rourke started boxing after this too.
Yeah.
No, he boxed before this.
He boxed before this.
Yeah.
That's
After
when
he
he was
stopped
on
acting.
Because
he had like Russia, right?
He was like a great, considered like a great top tier like actor in the 80s, and then he decided to start boxing. Then he was in like low budget action movies, and then in like the late 90s to early 2000s, and then he had this in 2008.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's how his face got all fucked up, right?
Exactly.
From
like he was like a fucking like he was like a heartthrob in like the 80s. And then he fucking boxed and got his face fucking beaten in. And then he became like a grizzled type of actor.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
What
do you guys want to shout out the extra picks? What do we get?
I'm gonna bounce before you guys get into.
All right. Well, we will recast you with Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal is Spider-Man.
Jake Gyllenhaal is replacing you for the remainder of the segment to go along with our feature presentation from our full episode.
Perfect recasting.
In that spirit, we're improving it with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Huge improvement.
Cool.
Perfect.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Good night, guys. Good night, Twitch.
Buddy.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, he's gone.
I'm just waiting to see if he's gonna leave and fuck her shit up. Nah, he's chilling. All right, we're good.
Cool. All right, let's get into some of the shout outs. Does anyone have them written down? Oh,
Written down there
here
all
we
in chat
go.
here. Kate's are way up there.
All right, I see Derek shouting out the 2008 comedies, which we already talked about, with the exception of Role Models and Semi-Pro.
Role Models, great movie. Makes me
yeah.
want to LARP. Still makes me want to LARP. I want to get a foam sword and just hit people with it.
Yeah, I mean, Role Models was a solid comeback for Sean William Scott, and then it was Paul Rudd finally getting a leading acting role in a comedy. So that was cool to see. We mentioned all the superhero ones. And Cloverfield. Taken was released for internationally in 2008. It came out in the US in January of 2009, but we can mention it. I mean, Liam Neeson's still fucking riding that action movie craze that he has done since 2008.
I thought he said 5 years ago that he wasn't going to be doing those movies anymore, and then he instantly came out with the stupid one where he's on the bus or the train or something like that.
It's his thing. He's never going to stop.
The last one that I liked with him was, which was kind of different, was The Gray. That was a great movie with him.
Didn't he punch a wolf with a bunch of little liquor bottles in his fists?
Yeah, he broke the bottles and put them in between a whatchamacallit, like a cuff.
Ugh. Yeah, the man used to be a legitimate actor.
Yeah. So
That's
weird.
so crazy.
Got to pay the bills, I guess.
Yeah, we'd do whatever the fuck he wants. His wife died, right? He's had a hard go at life.
Yeah. And then Cloverfield, that series is still going on. We've had 3 so far. I mean, the 2 and 3 became Cloverfield movies after the fact.
Were they good? The sequels? I like the first one, but
Cloverfield Lane was pretty.
Sequels?
Cloverfield Lane was good.
That's one with John Goodman, right?
Yeah. Cloverfield Paradox was not good.
Is that the space one?
Yes.
Isn't Overlord supposed to be Cloverfield adjacent?
If it was, then that would count as a good one because Overlord was really cool.
I mean, that would be interesting. I don't know how that would.
I know it's bad. I mean, it's Bad Robot, but I don't think they ever.
Overlord.
They straight up put it as a Cloverfield movie.
So when they just have like a mediocre horror movie, they just slap Cloverfield on it.
Basically.
And they're like, we're just gonna reshoot something.
If they need to give something a boost, they tack on Cloverfield.
That's silly.
All right, and then what were the other ones?
Kate's got good taste. She got Finch Dog and Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It's a good movie.
I knew you were gonna like that one.
It's a draining movie, but a good movie. Got Twilight. I'm guessing this is the first Twilight.
Yes,
it started the Twilight craze. Robert Pattinson.
Wasn't the Twilight craze going on already at that point?
Probably.
The books, started the movie craze. It started the Robert Pattinson craze, and then Kristen's the K-Stew craze.
Yeah.
Many years after
both still doing good work.
You're still doing
doing good work now. I don't necessarily know if they were doing good work in Twilight.
Probably not. I've seen a couple scenes from it. It was
the reviews don't seem to be strong for those
pretty
movies.
horrifying. You should watch the baseball scene. It's
I've seen that on YouTube.
It's something.
They
like playing baseball. They do sparkle in the sun. The Other Boleyn Girl. Never heard of this one.
It's like a drama, I believe. I don't know the other. I don't remember anything about it.
New every week. Like that Lindsay Lohan did a movie with some old woman.
Oh yeah, this was on Keira Knightley and Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, is this like a Victorian England?
Or no, Natalie Portman and Scarlett Johansson. Sorry.
Yes, this is like Jane Austen type stuff. It looks like. My wife definitely likes this movie or has seen it. The books were better. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask if she's seen this. This seems like something up her alley. Although she fucking hates Natalie Portman, so maybe not.
Damn.
She's not a big Natalie Portman fan.
Strong words.
Yeah. Definitely maybe.
That movie I've never seen.
Comedy.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Neither have I. Like a
that would be
a
Ryan
rom-com,
Reynolds,
right?
Yes.
Isn't it a rom-com?
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds and Isla Fisher. with Abigail Breslin.
I remember the trailers looking like this. It could be a fun movie.
Oh, Rachel Weisz is in this too.
She
Good
like
for you, Rachel Weisz.
she like a dead wife or something.
I have no
I feel like
idea.
I feel like there's a dead wife involved.
Well, the poster seems like Ryan Reynolds and 3 women, and they all look happy.
no
Like they're in
dead.
love with him.
Okay,
They
that's
don't
nice.
look dead though.
Then I'm probably confusing it with something else.
It's not Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. And then how can we forget Mamma Mia, the movie where Pierce Brosnan sings?
I'll never understand how they made a Mamma Mia 2. They're like singing the same fucking songs.
I mean, Mamma Mia,
Remixed.
Here I Go Again, Murph. It's not Mamma
more-
Mia, Here I Stopped at the first one.
I'm sure they'll eventually make a third one.
Mamma Mia 2 and 3 with more ABBA.
I mean,
All
more
the
ABBA's
ABBA.
not a bad thing.
I'm not a fan
Big
of
fan
ABBA.
of ABBA. Well, you're
Too
crazy.
much
I
ABBA.
don't really like
You're
ABBA.
crazy, dude. ABBA.
I respect it, but I don't like them.
ABBA is timeless. I respect what you do.
I respect what ABBA does.
This is like the ultimate old people cast in Mamma Mia. You got Pierce, but you got Meryl Streep. You got
She sang?
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth definitely sings.
Older women, they love Colin Firth, you know? Man, this is a weird cast. I don't want to see anyone in this movie sing, but they all sing, right?
I would imagine. Isn't
tough.
trying to think of her name. Yeah. It'll come back to me.
Yeah. After the podcast's over, and all our listeners will be like, "Fuck, what was he thinking about?"
Yep. It'll be a mystery.
We'll post
Forever.
on social media whatever Corey was thinking of. We'll put this face on it too.
There you go. All right. Anything else?
I think that's a fork in 2008.
Oh man.
JP, here, turn. This is your task for the foreseeable future. Make that into a logo.
I'm already doing it. It's going to be a technical difficulty slot. The Corey face of technical difficulties.
Oh man, that's great.
All right. That's 2008.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about 2008 anymore. Let's never talk about 2008 ever again.
2008
Alright.
was not a great year.
2008's done.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great year, actually.
For comedies, but
Well, we had Dark Knight. We had Iron Man. We had Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Curious
Twilight.
Case of Benjamin Button. Dirk says, fucking 2003. Shout out to 2003 being crap.
All right. Sorry, 2003.
Ooh, Fool's Gold with Kate Hudson, Matthew McConaughey. That's actually a favorite of my father. I'm not going to lie. He's a big fan of this movie, I think. That's actually,
Interesting.
yeah. He loves that movie.
I
And I think Sahara.
I think I have seen that movie. Oh, another Matthew McConaughey joint.
Dude, he loves Matthew McConaughey and like treasure hunting and planes.
Does he like National Treasure?
He probably does. Actually, I was gonna say National Treasure for my recast to anyone but fucking Nicolas Cage. So I couldn't tell you who would be in it, but like a box with a face painted on it would probably be better and more. I would be more apt to believe that a box with a face painted on it could solve mysteries more than Nicolas Cage. But I just really don't like Nicolas Cage. That's
Fair
me.
enough.
It's a real bad opinion to have in 2021. Anti-Nicolas Cage sentiment. But that's just
All right. I think we're all done then for 2008. We
Yep.
will be back next week with 2009. We hope to see you then.
Yeah.
Please like
It'll be
and
fun.
subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and send in
Got a
any
bunch
of
of
your
new people here
any of
tonight.
your thoughts, comments, stuff like that. Yeah, no, we're having a good time. More people.
Come
It's
follow
better.
us on Twitch and hang out and talk with us when we have a laundry list of technical difficulties.
More than ever tonight.
Yeah.
It's
You
fun.
think after a year we'd figure this shit out, but nope.
We don't do it in one take. So
We
come,
gotta get-
come hang out with us.
we gotta
Watch-
get Doug
you
a
can
new
see Corey
camera.
face. We gotta get Doug a new everything.
Doug needs a whole new setup. All right,
2009.
guys.
See you then.
It's coming.
See ya. Bye, Twitch.
Bye.
All right, Twitch people, I'm going to sleep. We got a couple new faces in the chat tonight. It's nice to see you all
Yeah,
here.
who else popped in?
A few of my friends came in.
Yeah.
There was, I think at one point there was like 16 people.
Damn.
Oh shit!
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, I glanced at one point and it was 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Probably jumped in when we were having difficulties.
We have
Probably. They
Oh,
probably
wow,
saw the Corey
we
face
still,
and
we still have 9 people in.
We have
Doug
15
Furman, yeah.
followers.
tons of people here. Hey, look at that. Yeah, come follow us on Twitch. If you're here in the chat, give us a follow. We'll talk about stupid shit on Monday.
Who's Hurricane Kitten?
That's my friend Christine. Her
Hello,
husband was in
Christine.
there too.
Hello, Christine's husband. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
So
Kate and Dirk, I saw.
I noticed
Anyone?
that when Doug was, I don't know when, but when he was fixing all of his shit, he never came back into Zencaster. So
Who's Dobby Lish?
Doug,
Oh,
no.
Who's Dobby Licious?
that's her husband.
Good guy.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
Hey, there he is in
editing
chat. Dobbylicious.
What up?
guy.
Sweet. So Doug fucked. You're gonna have a fucking nightmare editing this one.
Enjoy this.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean, other than cutting the stuff out that when I had the technical difficulty, which actually happened right at the perfect time. I already watched the video. But with Doug, it's going to be interesting because I'm going to have to...
You're going to dub over his voice with yours.
Yeah, like you did the other time.
No, well, at least I don't
yourself.
have to... No, I don't have to do that, thankfully, because the video is fine. But I'm going to have to... For the
Splice in
audio,
his
for
audio
the
from the video.
yeah, from the
that.
MP3 for the podcast, I'm gonna have to like take his audio from a certain point and just
Dude,
blend
F's
it in.
in chat for our editor here. He's gonna have a hard time. Poor guy.
Prayer
Poor guy. We got
emoji.
F's. We got F's for you, Corey. F's in chat. It's a shame.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's not as bad as that time where I had to dub over. That was bad. That was very bad. It was fun to do because I've never done it before. Well, no. I haven't done it since college, but I still enjoyed it.
Man. All right, with that, I'm going to go to bed. Twitch, it's been fun. Show up next week. Tell us what you think about 2009 movies, which one you like. If we don't know them, we'll look them up and make some snarky comments.
Send feedback on what we can do better and things like that.
Yeah.
And what you found interesting, want to hear more of.
Hit the bell.
All those things.
Follow us on social media. Don't follow us in real life. That's creepy. Don't do that. I don't like that. Goodbye. Have a great night.
Good night.
Have a great Wednesday night.
Good night. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.